Thanks for hanging in here with the NFL Live crew. We got Jeff Darlington. We have the Hasselbeck brothers, Matthew, Tim. I'm Dianna Russini with you guys. We're talking Aaron Donald here. Do you think there's a player right now on defense who could stop him from possibly win for the third straight year in a row the Defensive Player of the Year award?
Yeah, I mean, Khalil Mack's the guy that comes to mind right away.
Absolutely.
I think, Khalil Mack, the year that he had last year, taking over games from a defensive end, outside linebacker's spot on the field, sack fumbles, interceptions, scoring touchdowns, creating turnovers because of the back end, rushing. Really, that's why Aaron Donald gets chosen for that. So Khalil Mack, national TV, quite a bit.
Big market, team with a big fan base, a lot of excitement around him. I would agree with you. I think that's the logical guy that you would say if there's anyone give him a run. I think there's maybe an outside shot someone like Von Miller could, because you could see Von Miller maybe having a crazy sack year. He's the opposite Nick Chubb, and so just to have opportunities. Bradley Chubb. And so just opportunities to put up kind of because I think that's the only way you do it is if you break like the sack record or something.
You break the sack record, but you also got to be on national television.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what a guy like Tyrann Mathieu can do in Kansas City in the back end. Of course, if you get a bunch of picks, sometimes you start to emerge on that platform, but it's going to be about sacks and basically who has the most of them. Is it going to be Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald? To me, that is the question. But I'm also curious, can J.J. Watt ever get himself back into that conversation? I mean, he's one of the all-time greats on that side of the ball. But he's, first of all, got to stay healthy. But
I do believe, though, for this award, you have to be on a team that is one of the best teams in the NFL. So that eliminates a lot of people right there. And the Chicago Bears, on paper right now, the defense that they had last year, you expect Mitchell Trubisky to take another step. Matt Nagy's offense is the Andy Reid offense. That could be an exciting team. It could be a first-place team. And Khalil Mack's the first name that comes to mind when you think about that team.
I think ultimately we probably look at it and you say you need to beat out a quarterback. And last year we saw a quarterback throw 50 touchdown passes. It's not uncommon to see a guy throw for over 5,000 yards. So there has to be something you do on defense that no one's ever done before in order for someone to say, okay, this guy just threw 50 touchdown passes, but we're going to vote you, the league MVP or whatever it is. So ultimately, I think when you look at the defensive guys that can have the ability to do something like that, be Defensive Player of the Year, there's really only three.
And one of the reasons guys love to play on national TV is because they know that's when everybody's watching. Everybody's watching. They got their device out and they're watching. They're posting about it. And so to me, again, if just thinking about Khalil Mack in that Green Bay game last year. He took over that game. And it was Khalil Mack versus Aaron Rodgers more than it was the Bears versus the Packers.
I'm not taking away from his individual talent, but don't you just think that Chicago defense as a whole is going to take some sort of hit without Vic Fangio being there? I don't think
they got Chuck Pagano, though. It's not
they do, but I think we're underestimating what Fangio was doing there. That's all that defense talked about when you asked, why were you so successful? What are you guys doing right? And it was always scheme, what coaches doing, what
Khalil Mack, though, has been a monster outside of that system as well as inside of it. Like him, Aaron Donald. I mean, when I think about I remember Jason Taylor when he was Defensive Player of the Year with the Dolphins several years, 2006 I think it was. He was everywhere. He was returning fumbles for touchdowns. He was getting the sacks. He was getting interceptions. So, if you're going to do it for a team that's below par, you have to touch the game in so many different ways. And I think someone like Khalil Mack, even if the offense struggles, can do that.
One of the things Aaron Donald really has going for him is that the separation, if you just consider him a defensive tackle, the separation from Aaron Donald and the next defensive tackle is greater than the separation from Khalil Mack to Von Miller, whoever you think the next great pass rusher is.
All right, that being said, quarterbacks here. Who would you actually rather face, Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack?
Aaron Donald is easier to double team because you know where he's going to be pretty much every play. You can double team him with a center and a guard or a guard and a tackle, and then you can have a fullback always head through that gap. That's a little bit easier. The problem with an outside linebacker type or a defensive end type in Khalil Mack, you can designate two guys to go block him, and then he drops in pass coverage. So now you have two guys blocking none, and now you're outnumbered on the other side. And that's what I think some of the genius of Vic Fangio was last year. He dropped Khalil Mack in coverage enough last year that it caused people to be like, well, we don't want to change our entire game plan.
Yeah.
And you have to be a little bit unselfish as a defensive player and trust your coach. Listen, I'm going to drop you in coverage a little bit more. You're actually going to get more sacks. And so that's some of it. So that's some of what happened, and I know that's what Chuck Pagano is going to do with Khalil Mack. He's going to rush the passer. He's going to drop out, much like what he did with Robert Mathis. And so, you know, I would not like to face either one of them, to be honest with you. But
Monsters, man.
it's easier when the guy's inside.
Jeff, you? No, I'm just kidding. Who would you rather interview? Aaron Donald, he's great. He's a good interview. Khalil's a little shy. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with the NFL Live crew.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.